Yeah, one of the things I did on my crossfire injection engine was I went through the entire engine bay, mostly under the dash, and I looked at all of these connectors. These are General Motors weather pack connectors. This actually is a testing harness, but the connectors look the same off the card. But what I found on a lot of them when I was looking at them was right here where the wires go into the connectors. A lot of times, I think over the years what had happened, they've been back probed and pulled apart so many times. I actually had some wire that was exposed right here where the wires go into the connector. Even also on the female side right there, actual exposed wire, which made me kind of uncomfortable. So basically, what I did is I just went through there. You can get a weather pack, a Delphi weather pack kit for under $200, and you can rebuild most of these connectors, which is what I did. I also bought some new connectors are still available, like the throttle position sensor, the map sensor. A lot of the connectors are still available online. You can just buy them brand new, ready to rock and roll. But yeah, the problem with these General Motors, they're sealed. They're sealed, and even if you've back probed one time with a paper clip here, you've exposed this to moisture. And once moisture gets in these things, corrosion starts. It's inevitable. And also these plastic tubes, I don't know if you can see that or not, but these plastic tubes, right there, they protect these pins from exposure to each other, because you even get 5/10 of a bolt going through there. You could have some shorting going on. But if these have been compromised, these tubes, you're going to have problems. You're going to have to replace the connectors, because there's really nothing you can do there. Trying to redo this with electrical tape would be dangerous. But these connectors, both the male and the female, you can look in there, and they go together. It needs to be sealed perfectly. Yeah, that'll just push right in there and connect in there. But you need one of these Lyle. This is a General Motors connector tool made by Lyle. You just push this down over this tip, this pins that releases the clips that hold this wire to the terminal, and you can just pull the wire out and you can look at all the wires. Sometimes I've been able to get away with just using this liquid tape. It comes with a brush. This is Permafix. You can just take the brush and just dab a little bit on if there's just a little bit exposed there, but everything else looks pretty good. I've been able to repair them pretty good like that. Another thing I use is, I don't use a lot of electrical tape, because electrical tape is really, it's not made for repairs in heat. It's just going to get brittle, come apart, get gooey. But I put a lot of wire in this flex wire loom. Here, just 1/2 inch here, some 1/4 inch wire loom. I'll put the wire. If it's in a good application, that's something you have to decide for yourself. I'll just put the wire right in here, just like that, to protect it. Wires rubbing up against something, any kind of a heat situation is a dangerous situation. And I also use these. I get this. This is flame retardant heat shrink. Comes in a lot of sizes, all the way up to 1 in 11/32. But if you have a lot of wires going together, you can put I'll give you these large pieces here. You can actually put your, you can heat shrink this down with your heat gun. Keep this protected. Again, this is flame retardant. Keeps everything neat too. Keeps moisture out of things, causing shorts. Again, this kit comes with a nice assortment, many different sizes. I also use, if I have to splice a wire, I'll use this watertight heat shrink butt connector assortment. And then I'll even, if I'm not satisfied with that, if I've got to run a wire that's running close to something, I'll even protect it more with some heat shrink. And if I've got a wire that runs right up next to the engine block or the manifold, I'll run it right in this. This is Mr. Gasket, a thermal heat shield tubing right here. So you can actually take your wire. Again, if it's up against the manifold, I'll just run it right. I'll run the wire right in here. If I can't, because it's got a plug on one end and the actual connector on the other, I'll cut the wire, splice it with some heat shrink butt connector, I'll put some flame retardant heat shrink around that, and I'll run it through this Mr. Gasket thermal tubing. But yeah, anything to be safe. It's kind of uncomfortable around gas pumps with these 30-year-old engines that have loose wiring and stuff like that. So I've gone through my whole engine bay. Here's some more. You can get this kit at Harbor Freight. This is flame retardant tubing. Comes in a lot of different sizes. Does a pretty good job. Yeah, that's just one of the things I do. Some of the things I do to redo the wiring. It looks a little neater, and I hope maybe this helps somebody out.